I also think my face was doing weird things, like while you were talking.
Hi, I'm Rain.
And I'm Katie.
And together we're Wicked Rain Studio.
So today we're going to talk about resin, which is something that Rain and I have quite a bit of experience with as we make these lovely resin necklaces. We have a whole line of them. And we've also worked with resin in cosplays or costumes, which resin's a really great product for making like jewelry accessories or like magical globe type things. And today we wanted to do some color experiments.
So we've tried a few different things for dyeing resin, and there's a lot of things online that they say that you can try. And we've never done a side-by-side of different dyeing techniques. And so we thought today we'd do an experiment and see how things work.
Yeah, so let's get to it.
This is sticky. Don't want to touch it.
It is gross. It's okay, we're not gonna be sound for this.
Oh, we might put that in there. Be going, ugh. Use a lighter to pop the bubbles in the top of the resin.
As we look at the glitters, we can see that the large glitter is sinking to the bottom. The fine glitter is staying mixed throughout. The mica powder is staying mixed while the large glitter sinks.
Katie walked away, so now I'm just here waiting.
Okay, so all the resin has cured. It's been sitting for 24 hours, not
2 months.
Now we can see kind of what the results were. So the first one was the
Castin Craft opaque dye.
We've used this before, and I really like the result of this. It gives a really solid color. I've poured accidentally a ton of this stuff in my resin before, and it still doesn't affect the cure time and the way it cures, which I find really nice. So I really like this product.
The only problem with the Castin Craft is it has limited color options.
Next up is the Pearl-X pigment. And again, this is something that
This is one of our favorites.
This is one of our favorites. It works really nicely.
It creates a really lovely kind of shimmer. And it comes in so many colors.
Yeah. So for this, we use the Pearl-X brand, but the really nice thing about this is it's really a mica powder. And mica powders come in every color of the rainbow. You can get them on Amazon for really cheap, and we've used a lot of the ones on Amazon, and they have same effect. The pigment is really good, it's strong, it behaves well with the resin. The nice thing about it too is if you use just a little bit, you can get more of a translucent look, whereas, you know, then you add, the more powder you add, the more opaque it actually gets. So the next one, Sophie Toffee resin dye. That is, it's a dye specifically made for resin, and it was supposed to be translucent, which it did show up translucent. I'm not sure if it's because it's so thin, but it seems to be really flexible, which I've never had with the resin that we use.
Yeah, usually that's certain resins that create that. I wonder.
So this seems to have affected the way this cured.
We'll have to test that dye a little more on some of our molds and see if it creates that effect every time.
So India ink. We've never used India ink before. This was just I have some of this, let's throw it in there. I really like the effect.
It's really beautiful.
It's really pretty. Now we actually did this twice. One of them was thicker than the other one, and I bring this up because the thicker one, it turned out great, no problems, full, solid. This one, also flexible.
Huh.
And I don't know if we added more India ink this second time around. And so it's affecting the cure. I'm not really sure why it's doing this.
Something to do further experimentation with to determine if it's the amount of India ink we put in there or the temperature on that day.
Now this is one that I've seen a lot of people online touting as a great thing to use, like a cheap product to use, is acrylic paint. And I really dislike the effect. We've actually, this is also one we've done twice now, and every time it leaves pockmarked texture on the top of the resin, and it leaves a really nasty finish.
And it's also kind of like clumpy.
Like when you look through the resin, because it is a little translucent, you can see particles of the pigment inside of it, as opposed to it all blending in with the resin. It doesn't fully meld in with the resin. This third one, sixth one.
What number are we on again?
So this one's the Watercolor Paint.
Very similar issue. It also has the pock marking on it.
But more than that, it just doesn't, we could not get it to mix with the resin.
Blend, which is weird because you would think watercolor, like something about it makes me think that watercolor is gonna like blend beautifully and spread, and no, it clumps.
Yeah,
like clumps.
Yeah, and, clearly the water base of it is not compatible with resin.
Not happy with resin. If you were wanting to make something that looked like rocks,
it
kind of looks like rocks.
Yeah. And the last of the paints that we used was nail polish.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because we had it. Not the worst.
It is surprisingly not the worst. Not super well blended. Still, you can see particles in it, but it doesn't affect the cure too poorly. It cured rather nicely. There's no pockmark effects.
I would say, like, this has a similar translucency as translucent pigment or even the India ink, and so in that case, just go with one of those two because it's just going to give you a nicer effect.
It is going to be
that's
prettier.
basically what the end result is.
Glitter.
As I was suspecting, with the heavy glitter, it literally all sinks to the bottom of your mold, and a lot of resin molds are flat bottomed. So this actually works great because it looks gorgeous from the front, but as we know from having our necklaces that are like multi-dimensional, everything sinks to the deepest part of your mold. So you're really just gonna get a line along whatever the deepest section of your mold is. A three-dimensional mold is all gonna sink to the very bottom of your mold. You're not gonna get it.
I tried to make a
through.
cool Game of Thrones large glitter egg, and there was just glitter at the tip of the bottom of the egg.
But yeah, if you have a flat resin piece, it looks gorgeous.
The fine glitter, however,
Yeah.
floats better.
It does float better, and again, when you have a flat piece, most of it will sink to the bottom, and it gives you just a nice,
Gorgeous shimmer.
gorgeous shimmer, like nice and sparkly. The difference is that because it's so fine, it doesn't all sink to the deepest point. It'll mostly just sink kind of to the nearest surface. And so we are able to, like with our necklaces that are multi-dimensional, we're able to use the fine glitter and it spreads a nice even shimmer coat through when you're looking at it straight on. And last we did pigment mixed with glitter, which again looks great.
This particular one is a mix of the Pearl X powder with the large silver glitter, and it is a really pretty effect. But if you flip it over, you can see that there is no glitter at the top basically at all anymore. It is all sunk to the bottom of the mold.
Yep. And so anything that's 3D, anything that's multi-dimensional is just, it's not going to give you this flat effect.
Thanks for watching our video on resin dyeing.
We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video.
If you haven't yet, be sure to check out our video on how to make your own silicone mold. There should be a link somewhere.
One of these squares. Bye!